Hello everyone, welcome to Chandigarh Civil Services Academy's YouTube channel. So in this video we are going to discuss about the recent bill that was passed in Lok Sabha called the Taxation Laws Amendment Bill 2021. So the major highlight of this bill is that it has ended the retrospective taxation. To understand this key term, we need to look at the background first. So what happened was in 2006, Vodafone, which is a British company, it acquired ownership rights of Hutch. So the shareholding it went through an appreciation. Okay, so whenever a transaction involves appreciation of money, it is always bound to be taxed. I'll give you an example first. For example, you buy gold worth rupees 1 lakh and after 5 years you sell it for 50 lakh rupees. Okay, so there is an appreciation of value and that appreciation is bound to be taxed, and that tax is called capital gains tax. Similarly, in this transaction, this kind of tax arose. But since the transaction happened offshore, it was not within the Indian tax jurisdiction. But the assets involved in that transaction lied within India. So there was a confusion here, but the Indian tax authorities, regardless, sent a notice to Vodafone. And the matter went to the High Court, and the High Court ruled in the favor of Vodafone and said that there is no need to pay any kind of capital gains tax. And in the early 2012, Supreme Court also ruled in Vodafone's favor that there is no current law that supports any kind of levy of capital gains tax on international transactions. So when all these things were happening, the judiciary also favored the industrial sector, and the government had no other option but to introduce an amendment. Okay, so the finance minister at that time, Mr. Pranav Mukherjee, he introduced a retrospective amendment to capital gains tax, also called the Vodafone tax. सो इस अमेंडमेंट के हिसाब से जितनी भी ट्रांजैक्शन हुई हैं 1962 अप्रैल ऑनवर्ड्स, जो कि इंटरनेशनल हैं इन नेचर, बट उस ट्रांजैक्शन के अंडर जो एसेट्स इन्वॉल्व हैं वो इंडिया में लाई करते हैं, तो दैट इज़ बाउंड टू बी टैक्स्ड बाय द इंडियन अथॉरिटीज़. So this was a very shocking amendment for the industrial sector. 17 companies were served with notices and the government started extracting taxes from them. So this kind of amendment was also called tax terrorism because this certainly brought down the morale of various kind of investors who were interested in investing in India. So how does this current amendment impact the situation? The current amendment says that any transaction that happened before 2012 will not come under the capital gains tax law. So this is a very positive news for the industrial sector because it brings in a complete sense of clarity that there will not be any kind of taxes or any kind of notices served to the companies in retrospect. So there is an improved sense of investors' sentiment, and it has improved the reputation of India internationally also, because the companies earlier used to think twice before investing in India, and there was a sword hanging upon their heads that the authorities might tax them for various decisions taken, various transactions they get into. So now there is a sense of clarity that has come. Also, the present amendment has improved the credibility of the government because in 2014 when they came, they promised that they will do away with tax terrorism, and they have certainly done so with the present amendment. So to sum it all up, we can say that the present amendment is a step in the right direction. However, there is always a gap between intention and reality. The intention is right, and the reality has to be made right by beefing up the tax administration apparatus, and eventually this will bring in more investments into India, and altogether it presents a very positive picture.